Christopher Langan has an IQ of 195. That makes him demonstrably smarter than Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, and Isaac Newton. By all metrics, he should have changed the world. Richard Feynman had an IQ of 125. Respectable, but barely brushing the threshold of genius. Yet, Feynman won a Nobel Prize, revolutionized quantum electrodynamics, and became a scientific legend. Langan spent most of his life working as a bouncer at a bar in Long Island. Brain power did not fail Christopher Langan. Something else did, something invisible. We have built an entire society around a lie. The idea that raw intelligence is the ultimate predictor of success. We test for it in schools. We screen for it in job interviews. We obsess over it. But here is the statistical reality. IQ only accounts for, at best, about 20% of the variance in life outcomes. If you rely on intelligence alone, you are leaving 80% of your future up to chance. To understand what actually fills that 80% gap, you have to go back to a room at Stanford University in the late 1960s. A researcher brings a 4-year-old child into this room. On the table sits a plate. On the plate sits a single treat. The researcher looks at the child and offers a deal. I have to leave this room for 15 minutes. You can eat this right now. But if you wait until I come back, I will give you a second one. The researcher walks out. The door clicks shut. What happens in the next 15 minutes would quietly revolutionize our understanding of human achievement. Act 1. The Discovery. This was the legendary Marshmallow Test, designed by psychologist Walter Mischel in 1972. The premise was simple. Measure a child's ability to delay gratification. Some kids ate it instantly. Others agonized, covered their eyes, sang songs to distract themselves, and survived the 15 minutes. At that time, it was just a cute study about willpower. But decades later, Mischel tracked down those same kids as adults. The data was terrifyingly consistent. The children who waited, who delayed their gratification, had universally higher SAT scores. They had lower body mass indices. They had lower rates of addiction, lower divorce rates, and dramatically higher incomes. But what if the test was not actually measuring willpower? What if it was measuring something much darker? We will get to the twist that even Walter Mischel missed in just a minute. First, we have to fast forward to 2007. Psychologist Angela Duckworth was studying the United States Military Academy at West Point. It is one of the most elite institutions on earth. Getting in requires near perfect grades and elite physical fitness. Yet, every year, 1 in 5 cadets drops out before graduation. Duckworth wanted to know why the brightest, strongest recruits were breaking. She tested them for IQ, no correlation. She tested them for physical strength, no correlation. She finally found the answer in a 12-item questionnaire she invented, measuring passion and perseverance for long-term goals. She called it grit. The highest scorers on Duckworth's grit scale were the ones who survived West Point. They were also the ones who survived the final rounds of the National Spelling Bee. They were the highest performing salespeople in corporate America. Intelligence gets you into the room. Grit keeps you from walking out when it gets harder. Act 2. Why it actually works. Remember that twist I mentioned. For 40 years, the world looked at the Marshmallow Test and concluded, if you have willpower, you will succeed. If you don't, you are doomed. But in 2012, a researcher at the University of Rochester named Celeste Kidd realized something was wrong with the narrative. Before putting the kids in the room with the marshmallow, Kidd split them into 2 groups. Group A was put in an unreliable environment. The researchers promised them new art supplies but never delivered them. Group B was put in a reliable environment. The researchers made the same promise and brought them the supplies. Then they ran the marshmallow test. The results shattered the original theory. In the unreliable group, the kids who had just been lied to, only 1 out of 14 waited the full 15 minutes. In the reliable group, 9 out of 14 waited. Delayed gratification is not an innate personality trait. It is a rational response to your environment. If you grow up in an unpredictable world where promises are broken, where resources are scarce, where tomorrow is not guaranteed, eating the marshmallow right now isn't a lack of discipline. It's a survival mechanism. Why wait for a second treat if you don't trust the researcher to come back? Grit. willpower, delayed gratification. These are not things you are born with. They are skills. They are neurological habits built on a foundation of trust, specifically trusting yourself to follow through. So, if it's a skill, how do you download it into your brain? The answer lies in a strange cognitive trick that feels almost too simple to work. Act 3. The application. You cannot watch a video, feel motivated, and instantly become gritty. Motivation is a spike. Grit is a baseline. To raise the baseline, you have to bypass your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that negotiates with you when you are tired. Technique 1. Implementation intentions. In the 1990s, psychologist Peter Goldwitzer discovered that people who set vague goals, like I am going to work out more, fail 71% of the time. But if you use an implementation intention, your success rate doubles. It's an if-then statement that preloads your decision. Don't say, I will study tomorrow. Do say, if it is 8 am on Tuesday, then I will sit at my desk and open my laptop. You are removing the friction of choice. Technique 2. Identity-based habits. Author James Clear points out that true behavioral change is identity change. The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. When faced with the choice to doom scroll or work, you don't ask, what do I want to do? You ask, what would a disciplined person do right now? You act as if you already are the person you want to become until the data proves it's true. Technique 3. The 10-minute rule. When you feel the overwhelming urge to quit, to check your phone, or to eat the marshmallow, don't say no. Say, not right now. Tell yourself you will give in to the urge, but you have to wait exactly 10 minutes. By delaying the gratification instead of denying it, you reduce the psychological pressure 9 times out of 10. When the timer rings, the emotional spike has passed and you will keep working. Now here's the twist. But here is where we have to be intellectually honest, because the internet loves a silver bullet and grit has become a buzzword sold by life coaches and corporate managers to make you work 80-hour weeks. In 2016, a massive meta-analysis by researcher Marcus Crede looked at 88 independent studies on grit, and he found something uncomfortable. Grit is virtually indistinguishable from a very standard personality trait we have known about for decades: conscientiousness. More importantly, the effect sizes of grit are modest. Grit will not turn a terrible idea into a billion-dollar company. Grit will not compensate for a toxic environment. And blind grit, the refusal to quit a failing strategy just for the sake of never giving up, is a recipe for disaster. Knowing when to quit is just as important as knowing when to endure. The conclusion. Let's go back to Christopher Langan and Richard Feynman. Langan had the ultimate biological advantage, a brain that could process information faster than almost anyone in human history. But when faced with institutional friction, a missed deadline for financial aid, a professor who would not accommodate his schedule, Langan quit. He withdrew. Feynman was not the smartest man in the world, but when a problem was impenetrable, when the math was not working, Feynman did not need a guarantee of success to keep going. He had the ability to sit in the room with the marshmallow, the confusion, the frustration, the failure, and just wait. Intelligence might tell you how many doors are in a room, but it's delayed gratification that actually opens them. Because at the end of the day, success is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the person willing to stay in the room the longest.